And then all the battery dies.
All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Before the batteries die.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it. Let's do it.
We might not get any video out of this.
Okay. What's up, everyone? Welcome back on another episode of Friends Next Door. This is Mia.
It's Dan.
It's Thomas.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! And I can hear, I'm like a little bit distracted because
Why is that?
Obviously you guys are not, well, if you're not seeing the video, I have a can of
Shwipsh.
sparkling water next to me. I can hear it like,
Fizzling?
Fizzle?
yeah,
Okay.
I kind of want one too now.
it's
Do you want
delicious.
to go grab one?
No, it's too late, Dan.
Oh, man. Okay, it's all
We
good.
can get it next
Prisoner in your own place.
It's all good. I feel like I can't even move my head even like 2 inches. For those of you that are listening, we have this very primitive home video setup
With 3 cameras.
with 3 cameras that
And a light,
may
a
or may
ring
not
light.
have enough battery. And but actually, I'm proud of us. We came up with this like on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, you came up with it on the spot, and this is all your gadget.
My many years of video production
yeah.
allows me to have all these gadgets.
This is all, well, this might be for nothing. We will see,
Yeah.
because like this video may never see the light of day. But regardless, we
Yeah,
tried.
Exactly.
Well, what are we talking about today before all the batteries die out?
Okay. Well, we are, at the time of recording, we are coming up on the first game of the NBA Finals.
That's right.
Ooh, good
And what's
segue.
special about this one?
It is essentially the teams are on the finals are both Dan's team and me and Thomas's team.
That's
That's
right.
right.
It's the Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors.
Guys,
That's right.
We've never been more invested in a finals. All right.
That's true. In like
right.
the prior years, you just watch as like,
As a
fan.
spectator.
Yeah, spectator.
As a spectator, because the Warriors have been the best team of the decade,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like essentially watching with you guys,
Right.
watching your reactions,
Right.
And this is the first year that you guys will watch my reactions
But we've seen yours for
for the
like,
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
So
even- I
having
black
seen
out,
that, I
so-
know that it won't disappoint.
I might tone it down just because,
Why?
like, I don't know.
No,
like,
I want unfiltered.
We're gonna be in public watching it. You
it's
know, I don't
okay.
want
Nobody
to
cares.
get the building to call the authorities. on
Security.
me.
It's true.
But
True.
yeah.
All right. So it's your team against our team.
Which means there will be one loser
Exactly.
out of this.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So naturally, because of that, our topic for today is: are you a gracious loser or are you a salty loser? Somebody will lose tonight.
Yes, exactly. And this pertains to life.
Sure.
You know, it's a fun topic because I think throughout your life you've lost on, say, material things, maybe lost out on a job,
Yeah.
maybe lost out on a girl or a boy. We're gonna explore,
Of course,
guys.
right?
You know, not just sharing the loss of your hometown team, which is quite crippling in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to go through that a lot. So, who wants to start? Who's got like a lost story?
Like tragic lost story.
Tragic lost story.
The 2016 finals.
Oh,
That was a tragic one.
That was
'Cause
painful.
That was the year that you got me into watching basketball.
Oh, that was when they lost to the
that
Cavs.
was
That's right.
Yeah, that was
That's
the
right.
73-9 Warriors
Yeah.
team.
Oh yeah. How did
And-
that feel?
Okay, that
Not
was
good.
so painful because they were doing so well all season, and then they got to the playoffs and also to the finals, right?
Yeah.
We were up 3-1,
Yeah, I remember that.
and we blew that.
I
Yeah,
felt bad for you.
we made NBA history.
But I got one that will top that. So
Okay.
the perfect Patriot season of 2007 or 8, I can't even remember now. They went perfect. No one's gone. Only one other team went perfect, and that was the 72 Dolphins. And
They win every
they
single
won
game.
undefeated
Wow.
until the Super Bowl. They got beat by the Giants.
Okay, that's
And
very
it wasn't,
painful.
And it wasn't
Wait,
just like
the
they
Giants?
got the New York Giants, and it wasn't even like they lost because they got blown out. They lost on a freak play in like a 0.000% chance. Like
Wow.
it was the equivalent of sinking a full court shot.
wow.
Yeah, so that's how they lost.
crazy.
And I actually to this day I am not a gracious loser. I cannot watch any highlights of that game. And it's been I don't know however many years, like 14 years.
I would be on the same boat.
Like I
Yeah.
have not watched one highlight of that Super Bowl
Yeah.
for 12 years or listened to one piece of media. Like it haunts me. And I know it's stupid.
Are they
because-
still talking about, like, would people still bring it up from time
Oh
to
my
time?
God. Because they rub it in your face.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the players I've read still kind of haunts them. Because it's like you're so close to perfection.
Yeah.
It's not like losing a regular game.
Yeah.
They were so close to being instilled in history forever. And then they lost. I would not want to be them. But anyways,
Such is life.
these are like fun losses. Do you guys
Yeah.
have personal loss stories where you have to graciously lose or you were not a good loser? First of all, what kind of loser are you? Like, do you crap and moan about it? Do you take it like lightly? Like when you guys lose, how do you take it?
Yeah. I think it depends on how invested I am, right?
Okay.
And so in general, I'm not super invested in things, so I'm pretty calm about most of it.
Yeah.
But like, I think when I started playing basketball, that was like
Yeah.
the most fired up I've ever been.
Because you played like
it was like a work league.
work league. Yeah. How is work league Thomas? Was he like yelling at his teammates? Like, how do you, when you're losing in the game, like,
Yeah.
are you frustrated, visibly frustrated?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Because I've never seen that side of Thomas.
Yeah, like, are you
Yeah.
generally a competitive person?
Apparently only during basketball games.
Yeah, I guess it brings it out, like, because
Brings the worst out of
Yeah.
you.
And
The
I
best
mean-
and the worst.
Yeah, I mean, a part of it is because like I'm a small person, so there's like
Yeah, we have
that-
chips on our
yeah, we have that
shoulders,
chip on
'cause
our
I'm very
shoulder, right?
competitive.
Yeah, exactly. Like to this day, there's like we had like a work outing or something, and then we were just playing like a casual game of pickup ball,
Yeah.
right? And then it was like the start of the game, we got inbounded straight to me, and it did like a turnaround fade away in.
nice.
And like I will just keep talking about that shot.
did you make shots after that or no?
I think so, but that was just like you know,
That
it
was your
like
moment.
Yeah, that was my moment. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was like a bigger guy on me, like
You're like,
caught
in your face.
first shot of the game too.
Do you rub it, like when you're winning, do you rub it in people's faces? Like, how are you also like a bad winner, you know?
Oh no,
a good
I'm
question.
okay on that. I'm okay on that.
Like
Yeah,
you don't
'cause-
have to gloat.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
no,
you're
no,
not
no.
like
Oh.
in your face.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I
I could see that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, because it's like because we for the work league games there was like
Yeah.
we played a couple seasons or like throughout the year,
Right.
right? And then like I developed a reputation of like how I play. So it'd be like pump fake, they would bite, and then I shoot.
Yeah.
And it's like if they bite on the pump, it's like that's I don't need to say anything, right?
Yeah.
They know what happened.
Right. You got him. You got him off balance. Have you guys what about like, have you lost any, like what else? Like lost out on a job? Like I said,
Oh.
a significant other.
Bring it. Okay. I was waiting for him. I'm like, Dan.
Uh-huh.
Yep. What are you
Like-
gonna say?
You know, like other losses have you guys had?
Like promotion.
Yeah.
Like higher stake stuff, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, okay, if we talk about if we are a salty, a bad loser, we can also kind of flip it, right? And
Yeah.
then see if you are a bad winner, to your point.
Yeah.
I don't think I would typically rub it.
In people's
I'm like
faces.
trying to think.
I feel like you're not that type of person.
no.
I feel like you're pretty neutral either way.
Yeah, I like keep things to myself.
Yeah.
So like even if I feel competitive about it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't really
You
show it.
You can. I think
like
competitiveness
sneaky.
and how you react to losing are two different things. Because you could be non-competitive, but
Yeah.
if you lose out on something, you could like take it really badly.
Right.
You know.
I don't know. I think that to me, when I lose something, I just chalk it up to like, oh, it's not meant to be. you know?
I think it helps ease the pain.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So when I lose out on something like materially, I don't get as rattled. But when I'm
really?
when I am because I'm extremely competitive as well. So if I'm like playing a game, that's when I get the most riled up. So and I love games. So
Right.
I mean, we're talking about games from like low level, like low stakes Monopoly to Scrabble to chess. I get ultra competitive.
Why?
And that's just the way I am. And then like up to, you know, like sports, you know, I played sports all my life, like
Yeah.
competitively in school, get really, really riled up.
Are you competitive in every game or the ones that you can play?
Every game.
Okay,
Like,
because I'm only competitive
yeah.
in the ones I can play. Because
Right.
otherwise, just like it's like a I know I don't have a chance, so it's like I'm okay with losing.
I just get really competitive. I'm like Tom Brady. Like he'll throwing
Did you
like
just
if-
compare
if-
yourself to Tom Brady?
I think I'm one of the most competitive people, and actually, he always like yells at me for that. Like if we're at a bar and all of a sudden we're throwing darts, that's it. Like I am laser focused. I am trying to destroy you for no other pleasure than my own. Like if we're
Like,
playing,
what do you get out of it? Just a sense of
know, it's weird.
accomplishment?
So it's gotten way better now that I'm older. It was really bad when I was in college. Like now I kind of don't care anymore. Like I'm competitive enough that it's fun. Because it's not that fun if the other person isn't competitive at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm totally like beyond that. But when I was in college, it would be bad. Like I would even, I'd try to like order the guy more drinks just so he would falter. Like I would play mind games. Like I want to win so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the other hand, like, when I didn't get accepted to certain colleges, I'm like, I don't care.
That is so...
really weird, right?
That is
Like-
like the opposite of me.
Because to me, like, I could not control the other things. I can control when I compete because I'm controlling myself. But I cannot control if somebody gives me a job because usually I know I'm doing my best. Like I've tried my best, right? So if I go out on an interview and I don't get it, I'm totally fine because I know every step in my life I've tried my hardest. So I don't regret it, With school, like, I did the best I can with my grades, like, and I,
But
like,
isn't that the same from when you're playing games? Like you try your best, but then the result is out of your control.
No, because sometimes you can directly prevent that person from winning, and you're just like, so you second guess yourself. You're like, could I have done better? Or no, because it's a lot of it's like in-game decision making, right?
Okay.
So you're like, oh, did I make the wrong decision?
Right,
Because
the
there's
wrong call.
strategy
Yeah.
involved.
Gotcha.
So when there's all these factors in strategy, for some reason I tend to get really like into that, Because there's also a level of like practice. Like when you practice basketball, it's like, all right, how much have I worked on this?
Yeah.
Where I could like be better than that person.
Yeah, like I'll play.
We're hearing weird noises. It's all right. Hopefully the camera or the audio doesn't pick it up, but oh well.
Like I'm decent at table tennis,
Yeah.
so I'll be competitive for like against normal people.
Yeah.
But if it's like people who've like actually competed,
Yeah.
who have like a professional rating, like there's no competition there. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna feel bad about losing.
Okay, switching gears, personal stories. Growing up, I never dated the person I wanted to date in school. I did when I was 12. I had one girlfriend.
You were 12.
We went to see a movie. We're still really good friends. Went to see a movie, and then nothing happened after that. I was very like nervous, and then as I got older, I just was never able to, date the person that I wanted to. So I always felt salty about that.
So how did you express your saltiness? Like, were you salty towards the girl, the guy?
No, and not at all. I just internalized it.
Okay.
So in that case, I guess you can say I lost out, and I was just like, it didn't. Okay, so what it didn't do was, some of my friends, we weren't like, we weren't like the best with ladies. We were nerds, geeks. I did like some sports, but we weren't really good at. We weren't like suave. Like we didn't really care. Like we weren't the jock. We weren't. A lot of my friends did music, so that helped. Like the drummers and the guitarists, they did a little better. Classical piano doesn't do anything for you in high school. Drama doesn't do anything for you in high school. And running track doesn't do anything for you in high school. So,
True.
Some of my other friends were football players, baseball players. They definitely got like more share of, dates. So yeah, I was fine. I was happy not, doing all the other stuff that I was doing in my life. So I didn't really like feel the need to like get better at trying to like date girls,
Yeah.
until college. So high school me was just like, whatever, like
you
I'd be
didn't learn
sad.
anything from that experience.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh, that girl, I guess she didn't want to date me. It's okay. Whatever. So I was sad about it, but I wasn't like a bad loser about
Okay.
it,
Okay.
Like I didn't like put jam in their lockers or like
That
get them
sounds
kicked out
oddly
of.
specific.
Yeah. Or like got the other guy expelled. Like I didn't do that stuff. What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, I realized that you turn pretty much a lot of things into competition, even to like when you're out at the bar or where you're playing some petty games.
Petty games,
you
yes.
turn that into competition
Yes.
somehow. Because I'm thinking back, I'm generally not that competitive. But in the few competitions that I did when I was younger, this was like lame.
Okay.
Like I'm talking like cursive writing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like I did that when I was in elementary school.
Like
Oh, yeah.
English cursive or like Chinese?
Not Chinese.
Okay.
I think it was Indonesian, but like we use the same alphabets anyway.
Okay.
So it's like
I had
that
that too.
type. You did?
Yeah, even like you guys know by now I'm the most competitive person alive. So like when we were like having third grade cursive class, I'm like I wanted to be the
What?
best. Yeah. So actually my earliest memory of being competitive was in fourth grade. Again, there was a girl I had a huge crush on
And
in
she's
class.
a really great cursive writer.
No, actually, what happened was so I wanted to impress her, and I was a good artist, right? So I would draw it and show it to her. She'd be like, "Wow, that's nice." There was another kid that was also interested in her. Fourth grade, we're in. Actually, this was third grade. No, this was fourth grade. Anyways, and then he was like also drawing weird designs, but not as good as me. And she was like, "Wow, this is great." And I was not a good loser. I was like, dude. I remember being like, this is just random patterns. Like this isn't even good.
Did you explain that to her?
I tried to. Like mine's were based on like skills because my mom was an artist and I took actual classes. So I was not a good loser back in 8, 9 years old.
But she
Damn.
also didn't really have good taste.
She had no idea what she was looking at.
Yeah.
In the end, though, she liked me better than him anyways, so it was all good.
Okay.
Wait, so if the person you lose out to, you like don't recognize their skill or ability, or you think that they're like somewhat below you or something,
Yeah.
you'll feel more salty about it.
Yeah, because I feel like they didn't
I
deserve
feel the
it.
same too. Yeah, I feel the same.
Because I'm
too.
like, I
Yeah.
deserve it more. You know,
Because you're better at it.
at it,
so
right?
Yeah,
It's
naturally-
different than like if I lose out. Maybe if I lost out to someone with the same job qualifications, that hasn't happened to me before. But I would, because I've always like kind of worked for myself.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, that's never. I think maybe you guys face that more because if two people are going for the same one position, that might happen. Have you
Yeah.
guys dealt with that before, like at work?
Like not so much for position versus like recognition, which builds towards a position, right?
Right.
And so like, yeah, if like this guy that, let's say if I'm annoyed at this guy and I'm doing way more work or better work than him and he gets promoted or more recognition, I would feel annoyed, but I would not, like, I would still be professional about it.
Yeah.
And like, I wouldn't try to be like a dick to him or something like that,
Right,
or
right.
like try to sabotage him. But, I like privately with my one-on-ones with my boss, for example, like I would relay my complaints.
Okay. What was like some of the worst loser reactions you guys ever had?
I got depressed really. Well, the thing is, this is not like I'm in a competition or anything,
Right.
but I had such high expectation on my academic performance when I was in like, when was it? 6th grade, I think.
Okay.
Little Mia.
Yeah.
Got a little-
Overachiever.
yeah, competitive with myself.
Yeah.
But then I remember during the final semester, my grades overall just like dropped from my ranking, and I was like really, really sad
Wow.
about it, and I got so depressed.
Was that something you could
12-year-old
control,
Mia.
or it was like somebody just kind of did better?
I felt like
'Cause
it
you
was
get to
totally
see-
me.
Because you get to see this, like your ranking in your class,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like an Asian thing.
Yeah, it is. It is totally an Asian thing. And then
Totally.
I remember at the time there was some rewards too for
Yeah.
being like the top 3 in your class.
Yeah.
They give you vouchers to go to a steakhouse, and then you can get free steak.
Okay, wow, that's
And
worth
so
something.
yeah, so if you fell out of the top 3, like you didn't get it. That's why
Yeah.
I was like so embarrassed at myself.
Right.
Somebody
What-
trying to get into your apartment.
No, it's
Like the draft.
Okay.
no,
Like
you can hear the walls are kind of thin.
Yeah.
You can hear people in the hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all we know, somebody's like listening to our conversation.
They could hear us from the hallway.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway.
my quirky apartment we're in right now.
Wait, so was there ever a time where like I'm better than that person? They were ahead of you in the ranking.
I don't remember the specific, but I remember like during the early months of a school year, I would get excited. I would study hard, but then as months go by, I would grow lazier and lazier. So I only have myself to blame, really.
Because I remember third grade, and this is like when I was still smart. And like I would compete with these two other Korean kids for like we would have like daily quizzes on multiplications and stuff, and like we would always compete like who got the most accurate, who finished the first, and things like that. And I was, we were always like top 3,
Right.
and like so those two were my competition. But it's like I never felt salty about losing out to them,
Right.
because they're like I acknowledged that they were my equals or better, right? And it was just like a day-to-day thing when like one of us got the better.
Right.
But then I think after 8th grade, there was like a significant dip in my academic abilities, and I was just like, I kind of just stopped caring.
Yeah.
And I was just like, see, meh, all right, good enough.
Because it's beyond like what you could do. It's just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Well, I think it was like I just kind of stopped caring.
Right.
And so like I didn't care what kind of grades I got.
Right.
As long as like I was passing, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was like the same thing with the SATs. Like I knew I was not going to be able to compete with my friends. Or
Oh,
my
yeah,
peers.
no,
So I was like, 1680. All right, sure.
Well,
whatever.
you got a 1680.
No, this is out of 2400.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know what
okay.
those numbers mean.
Okay.
Very low.
Okay.
You could just put your name down. You could get like a 1400.
Hold on a sec. So you were in the era of 2400.
Yeah.
I was in the era of 1600.
Right.
And now they're back to 1600.
Right. I've heard that.
So I got a 1250.
It's pretty good.
So that's 675 each. So times 3. So you got oh man, that's pretty bad score.
That's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got wrecked on
Whoa.
reading and writing. Or
But
reading and the essay.
there's reading, writing, and math.
Yeah. So I did good on that side. I think I did like 7 something.
I
on the
did
math.
better on writing the math or vocab the math or whatever.
Right.
But man, okay, hey, look, you turned out pretty good.
I hope.
There you go. Yeah, but I was totally like my peers were getting like minimum 1400s.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't really care. Like, there's no way I'm getting, because it's like I just studied for it and I'm just not a good test taker, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm a very good test taker.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I wish.
in
I
terms of-
wonder if we can give me a practice SAT. SAT is what you take. It's what you take, not to get into college, because American colleges isn't like Chinese colleges where your score determines everything. It's just like one of the many factors.
Right.
This SAT score. It really does. And in fact, in today's age, colleges don't take them anymore, and only MIT takes them.
Right. The UCs don't take them anymore.
They don't take them.
Yeah, in California.
Which is insane. I would have done so well in this era, because I would have had like extracurriculars. I had a ton of extracurriculars. Like,
What'd you do?
Everything competitive. Chess club, ran track. I mean, literally anything that was competitive I did that I could do. Like, I wasn't playing baseball
Right.
because it just wasn't good enough,
Right.
Yeah.
Mia looked pretty proud when she was like, I'm good at test taking.
Yeah. I think you would kill it. So the worst thing is like Yi is the least competitive person to the point where she actually hates competition. So her and I, like when we first started dating, I'd be like, oh, it'd be fun if like I had a mutual other person to like say play video games with that I could beat them. And like,
First of all,
so it's like auto beatdown, and she's just like, nope. And
it's never a good idea.
And when she senses that I get competitive, she just goes, "I'm out. You're on your own." And I'm like, man.
I would probably do the same. I could understand her. I don't know what
Like,
it is.
Come on, like it's not fun if you don't. It's not fun if you don't, play along. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
True.
But I can understand her, because it's
Yeah.
like it's not something that she's like practiced at or that she's good at.
Yeah.
So it's not really like serving for any sort of like competition.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's just like.
It's just like,
bother?
why
Yeah.
am I putting myself in this situation?
Yeah. Why am
right
I
Yeah.
putting so much
Yeah.
effort into
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like this? So she'll just bounce.
now? Yeah.
In terms of guys, though.
Yeah, was there like...
I'm proud of you. You brought it up yourself.
There you go, because I was going to ask.
I know that
Like-
Dan is going to bring it up because we didn't answer previously.
You know
So.
where it's coming back to. So in your dating life,
In terms of guys.
have you ever missed out on somebody that you really wanted to date? And
Who was
somebody
the one
else,
that got away?
The
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah,
got
yeah.
away.
Has that
Of course,
happened
there were guys that got away. Because when you're in middle school, high school, you have your group of girlfriends,
Yeah.
and typically you're like crushing on the same guy.
Yeah. I mean, you have a very
Stereotypical.
small pool. It's not
Yes.
like you're a professional in New
And
York
and
and you
it's
could date
usually
anyone.
you're right, and
Yeah.
usually it's like the jocks, right?
Usually,
The-
right.
the
Oh, is that
basketball
the guys that you
players and,
liked?
like,
The
yeah,
jocks?
back then.
Oh, man. So
It was
not the
like-
nerdy chess kids, huh? Man.
Not so much.
Yeah. I felt like if I knew Mia in high school, she would be like the one that I lost out to for the jock. This is
No,
totally...
no. It wouldn't be me. It would be my friend. Because like I was a nerd back then.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it.
But I was like, okay, I think my group of friends were pretty popular,
Yeah.
but like not the most popular
So
ones.
they
'cause,
got
like,
the jock guys.
Yes.
And
yes.
you wanted
we were
to date
just like
them.
looking from afar. We're
You're
like,
like,
damn
"Ah."
you.
So were you like salty? How did you react?
I wasn't salty as much as I was like, I don't have confidence in myself.
Oh, depression.
Yeah, that's always my reaction to
Right.
like it. It has an impact on my self confidence. But then I was also like, well, okay, fine, because I guess I'm not cute enough. Womp womp.
Womp, womp.
Womp womp womp.
And then at what point did that change? When you were like starting to reject guys, and it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
College time.
Like, oh. Like, no, you cannot call me.
That's when I blossomed.
Oh, man. That's great.
So it's fine. It is what it is. The one that got away,
Yeah.
got away.
Do you guys like learn from do you learn from the times where you lost out, say
Yeah.
maybe a job? Like, and does it fuel you
Yes.
to get better at something?
Yes.
Has that happened before?
Yes.
Okay, so for example, like
So there was this person at
Mm-hmm.
work, right? That I just felt competitive with for whatever reason.
Oh.
Because I think, I know, this person's kind of like similar or I feel like, okay, without going over the specifics, I feel like this person's kind of
let's
like
go over
looking,
No, just kidding.
I could get in trouble. But I feel like
this
it was
is like
for,
current.
no.
Oh, okay.
But it's pretty recent. Anyway,
Okay.
so I feel like I'm being looked down upon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, so that's different. That's like a nemesis, right? It's like the worst kind of losing, because I feel like Thomas was saying, there's degrees. If you lose and you have no skin in the game, and you
Right.
know you're not as good, then it doesn't matter. But in this case,
Yeah.
you're like, this is my peer.
Yeah.
She or him, they're my nemesis, and I'm just as good, if not
Going to
better.
crush them.
Yeah. Oh, so like there was some healthy competition.
Yeah, I felt like I was being looked down upon. I was just like, okay, now I see it.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of made it a competition
Yeah.
for myself.
did they know it was a competition?
I'm not sure, but I got promoted before they did. So
Oh.
I was just
So
like,
so you won.
yes.
So you won. That's it.
Man, this does not help the topic. 'Cause
I
if
know.
you did lose out,
I
I was
know.
going to say, did you lose graciously?
Yeah. I'm just trying to
Or-
think like if I lost,
Yeah, how would you have handled that?
I think I would be salty.
Do you think you would have like still congratulated them? Do you feel like,
Of course, because you
Okay.
have to be professional.
but inside you would find a way to destroy them?
No, maybe not destroy them because
Yeah.
I don't have it in me. It's inside. I would just be like, really think about how I can improve
Yeah.
and get to that place
Yeah.
where I want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think for me, it's like the years of being the underdog for like academically, where like I kind of just stopped being competitive in
Right.
general, and it wasn't until like I got into like dance, like kind of gymnastics, martial arts, and then basketball,
Right.
that I started getting more competitive.
Right.
But like I feel like those early couple of years kind of built that like just like good sportsmanship.
Right.
Right. And I think one of the most interesting things from this recent playoff series was the Mavs versus
the Suns.
The Suns,
Right.
yeah. When Devin Booker was like mocking Luka for like flopping or whatever, however he plays, right? And then the Suns blew him out that game.
Right.
And then Luka was like, everyone acts tough when they're up. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
true.
yeah, it's
And
true.
it's true. So I think it's really important to like, and then afterwards, like Mavs just blew out the Suns.
Right.
And like they had nothing to respond with, right? And so I think it's really important to like win like graciously and lose gracefully.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't want to be like that sore loser, but you also don't want to be that like pompous winner kind of deal.
Right. Or at least don't show it. But behind the scenes, you can be. No, just kidding.
Right? It's not like you shouldn't celebrate or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's you don't want to just like keep rubbing in their face.
Right.
Because
I'm
like,
still working on that.
no, because like at least if you're like kind of like from like a defensive perspective, like your day will come, as in like to win or lose.
Right.
So if you just remember, like if you're going to rub it in their faces, or like one day they will rub it in yours too.
Yeah.
So
True, which is why I kind of respect Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Because he will gloat. He will,
Right.
I don't think he's a gracious winner.
Yeah.
he's not.
Because he will
not.
show off, but
not.
Right.
he will also be okay with taking, quote unquote insults from other people.
Right. And I think that's the trade-off. If you can dish it, you have to be able to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely, I'm very competitive, but I'm also pretty level-headed. Like, I'll have emotions about it.
Yeah.
But I'll also be able to take a step back and assess it in a larger picture. Like, for example, did I lose out because I'm just not as good in this area?
Yeah.
And then therefore I would just get better. And then if I'm doing well, like better than other people, I would feel good about myself, but I definitely wouldn't rub it in their face. Now, if it's somebody that I didn't like, I still wouldn't rub it in their face, but I would tell Yi, and I'd be like, yo, told you. And she's like, okay, are you done? Like, all right, you good?
You got air system?
Yeah, you got it. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And then I'm like, I guess that really didn't do much. So the more when I do that, I can tell that it doesn't do much for you. In fact, it makes you a worse person. So if that person like asked me for advice or something, I should still be able to like give them help.
Right.
So I strive to do that. Right. So not always the case, but you'd have to have like pissed me off. Like, it's not like if the person deserved, like if somebody deserved something good, I would be very happy for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what you're saying. If this person, if I know they don't deserve it and they got it, I would be a little salty. But in the grand scheme of things, I shouldn't care because it has no bearing on what I have and what I've achieved. But it's just human nature. But I do think like if I'm able to take a step back and analyze it, I can grow from it, and then therefore can make me better.
Yeah.
Especially because I have people in my professional life that I'm like, you deserve it, you don't. How are you successful? You stink. You're really good. So obviously, naturally, I try to emulate the people that are really good. So I've gotten to the point where hopefully the people that I don't think are good, I can still try to see like the good parts of them.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's hard,
Yeah.
but it makes me a better person, and I try to do it.
Right.
Is that something that you have to keep practicing, just like
Yeah, I think
reminding
so.
yourself
Yeah.
about?
I think so.
Because if you go off the edge, it's hard to come back.
Yeah.
I think it's a constant reflection of like, okay, am I being a little too sore of a loser?
Yeah.
Or am I being too, am I gloating too much?
Yeah.
Showing off? Yeah, because in my business, it is pretty competitive. Like a lot of times we're going after, and in yours too, you're going after the same client. There's only a small pool of money.
True.
Like you're working for a company, so it's
Right.
not like, oh dang, I could have gotten that job.
Right.
But for us, it's different.
Right. Whether it's like the same deal or the same clients or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So
I wonder. Okay, my niece is 4.5 now, she is ultra competitive, or maybe she's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, maybe she's just selfish.
I
But
can see kids being very competitive.
yeah,
Maybe you just need to crush her spirit.
it happened.
Never,
it happened.
never let her
Wash
win at
her.
anything.
No, okay, so this is what happened pretty recently, right? My sister and her family went out to mini golf.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've gotten some mini golf battles. Oh yeah.
Mini golf, and so they were all, they were all in
love
this like
battles.
same, okay, whatever. And then I think they were going. The parents went 1st, but I think my niece was like, "No, like it's like my turn. I want to go." So when it was her turn, the ball didn't go in. And then for some reason, she did not want to let go of her turn. She's like, I'm going to keep hitting this ball until it goes in. You guys can't go. You just wait until I get it in. But then my sister was teasing her. So I think her ball went in, and then she was basically just like, she broke down in tears.
Oh.
She had such a meltdown.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, no.
My family dreams are squashed.
My parents crushed my dreams.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she basically she stopped playing. She didn't want to play anymore. And I'm like, wow, is this just kids' nature, or is it like
I think it's kids.
it's just
Yeah.
or is it specific to her? Because I don't remember being that competitive at 4 years old.
I think also parents can be very competitive because they live through their kids a lot of times. None of us have kids, but I'll tell you, parents and their kids are a huge source of
True.
like competitiveness.
True.
Like
Right.
my kid gets into this school, they
So-
got this program or this and that.
When you have a kid,
Mm-hmm.
would you want your kid to like play sports and
Yeah, I would push them to play sports because it did
Yeah.
a lot for me.
Yeah.
I would push them to be
what if your
competitive.
kid wasn't competitive? That would be hilarious.
Then if they're not competitive, okay. If they're more like Yee's nature,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, what am I gonna do? Like change them? In fact,
Because it is a competitive world out there.
yeah, and I wouldn't wish that upon them. Because being competitive, you have to deal with losing. So if you're not, and this is what we're talking about, if you're not
Yeah.
dealing with it in a good way, it could be really bad because
Yeah.
then jealousy. Because what happens is if you don't lose gracefully or you don't see the sort of like the silver lining or make yourself better, then you're just jealous and you're petty.
Yeah.
And bitter.
And bitter, and that can, I think that's just bad.
Yeah.
Like it can, lead you to make bad decisions, right?
Right.
So-
But then also, you have to teach them that, well, now we're facing also this type of situation is that we can't always get what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you deal with that, right? If you
Yeah.
just keep winning as a kid.
That's right. So you're gonna lose sometime.
Yeah.
So would you say like you worked on basketball, right? What made you do that? Like what made you want to like get good at basketball?
Because it was fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like you have to have a certain level of skill for it to be fun. Otherwise, you just get wrecked all the time.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
and that was like the motivation wasn't to win initially.
Yeah.
Like if you're just playing pickup games, that's just whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then like in the league, that's like when you're actually motivated to win. So like before, it was just like if it's just practicing, it's just for fun,
Right.
Because you like what's the phrase? It's like you'll have fun when you're good at it or something like that, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's some variation of that,
Right.
right? And it was the same deal with ping pong. Like it's there's a pretty high barrier of entry to be good at ping pong.
Right.
And then so you have to like get the reps in. There's a lot of grinding to it. Like I remember my first real job. I played a lot of ping pong there.
Wait, where was this?
I was in a company called NetApp.
Oh, like it was a recreation, like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
between work, you would just practice ping pong.
Yeah, like
Okay.
at lunch, after work. Yeah.
My first instance of like wanting to get better at something to be better is I was like 12 or 13, and it's always like healthy competition between you and your cousins or brothers and sisters. I don't know why. So like my cousin who was a year and a half younger than me, this is my first time they were very wealthy, like a lot more well off than us. And it's funny because I never competed like monetarily, but they had a pool table and we both started out not good at pool. billiards if you're from the UK, or snooker or whatever.
Oh wait, but snooker is different.
Yeah.
It is different. It's an
Yeah.
actual game of
Yeah.
billiards, right? So I remember that summer we were both kind of trash, and I really liked pool. Like I love the game, right? So I went home, and I literally spent every waking minute after school at a pool hall to get really good. I'm talking about like competitively good, like learning. Like I got really good, just so the next summer I can go and kick his butt. And it was just like my first
Can't
time
relate.
as a child, like being like, I'm gonna work on this craft so that I could be better than this person. Totally arbitrary. Like my cousin didn't even care, you know. And it was like and I think it goes back to because I know. So for example, he's really good at golf, and I stink at golf, and I will never be good at golf.
Mm.
So I don't even put the time in. Right. But I know I could be good at like for example, ping pong. I will never
But
be good
how
at
do you
ping
know
pong.
that you'll never be good at golf?
I just know these things because like I just know I won't.
Right, because you have to put the time in.
Golf is one of the hardest things. Like it's actually easier to play baseball and basketball and football. Fun, not professionally,
Right.
but just like get good. Like, you know, with me, I've always been very athletic. So I could pick up any sport and just have fun. Like
Right.
be good enough to like keep up with other people
Right,
and not
that's
be
it.
the best.
Right.
Mm.
For
So I
golf,
didn't-
it's different.
For golf, it's like
It's all like precision.
Yeah, you can't even play golf unless you can hit this ball, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
But I know I could hit this pool cue onto this ball. So that was like my first time just getting super competitive and like being like setting the goal of next year I'm going to come back and wreck you.
And did you?
Yeah, I did. But then like afterwards he was like, yeah, whatever. Like, okay.
Like, he didn't even
He didn't
care.
care. He's just like, yeah,
I think that's the
I guess
thing,
you
if-
got good at pool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if the
yeah.
other person didn't care, it just didn't feel as good.
Correct. I was like, oh, but then like, cause I got so into pool, like it actually so that was middle school. In my
Yeah.
high school years, I play pool every day. That's
Yeah.
also why I didn't get girls. Cause I would just literally go to the pool hall after school. I had my own cue. I was just like,
Wow.
like got really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to think, like, isn't that cool considered, like,
Like
isn't that
that's like a
considered cool by
college thing.
girls?
Did
Yeah.
you bust that out during college?
So I got to the point where I was better than most people. So
Yeah.
I just, at
That
that
stopped
point,
being
like I
fun.
didn't even, yeah, like I'm obviously at a higher level than you. So it's not fun anymore.
You're
you know?
below me.
So at
You're below
that
me.
point, like it's just pure for fun, and I
Yeah.
just
Right.
like kind of like I felt like no need to show off
Yeah.
because the difference between like being good at pool and not is so far
Right.
that I've already put in so many hours. So I'm like, well, it's just like if you were better than somebody at ping pong,
Right,
you're just like
right, right,
I could casually play.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you openly challenging people? Like, are you openly competitive, or is it something that you just put
Now
in your
I'm
mind?
not like
Okay.
now I'm not like anything that's like sports. I'm not competitive that much. Like, you know, again, like the point where it makes it fun because I've said that self-control. Now I deal with more like career.
Yeah. What about work related?
Yeah, work. Now I have to deal with it a lot because I'm in the conversation now. So like at my work, their rankings every year, every month. There's rankings. They publish rankings, right? Yeah, and I get very because I know the abilities of other people. So I'm like, okay, the top something I'm not going to touch. They've been
Yeah.
doing this for like 40 years. I'm not going to touch them. But these people, I'm definitely better than
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, do you deserve it? Ugh. So
See, when
I
there's
deal with it a lot.
rankings, it
Yeah.
makes a difference. It makes
sure.
you competitive because you're like,
for
you
sure.
can see where you are and
Yeah.
where your competition is. So is that a good thing?
I mean, again, like you cannot let it overtake you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you win, you can't get too high, and when you lose, you just cannot
Get
like,
too low.
Get too low, and
Yeah.
also it's tough, but you have to.
Because it's
you know?
tough to not care as much for something that you put so much effort in, right?
Yeah.
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 So, and in my business, you don't lose. You might lose out on a client, but you're still like making money. Like
Sure.
you just depends on how much, right?
Yeah.
But when you don't crack the top 5 or the top 10, it's not even like, how do I crack it? You just got to deal with it. Like, you know what? And a lot of it's luck. Like, yeah, they had more business that month. Like,
Right.
what are you going to do? You know?
Right. Right.
So,
I mean, if you could do it all over again, would you still want to be competitive growing up?
yeah, I think that's just my nature, and it allowed me to get better at things, and it allowed me because I was never a sore loser.
Yeah.
to the point where it was detrimental. Because everyone reacts when they lose.
Yeah.
That's human
Yeah.
nature. So I think that being competitive growing up has allowed me to get good at things.
Yes. And
Because that
actually,
drives me.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I wish I was more, that I had more like competitive nature in me, because I just didn't then.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like my like 20s when I started like you know, it's
Developing
like, oh,
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like for example, it also goes back to the like putting in the reps to be good at it for enough to be fun.
Right.
Like it wasn't until I could actually do like backflips or whatever.
Right.
Then it started being fun
Yeah.
rather than just like grinding. Right.
Right.
And so I actually wish that I had more of that competitiveness in me early on,
Yeah.
so that I could find that sooner.
Yeah. Because I didn't mind grinding. Because
Yeah.
I always felt like it's part of the process.
Right.
And it's fun to see your improvements. You
Right.
know?
Right. Although I
Um,
can't really do the grinding anymore. I
I
feel
mean,
like
it
I'm past
depends.
that
Like,
age.
I feel like if you find the right thing, you know, it's like, because then you see the progress. You
Yeah.
look back and you're like, oh, my drawings were terrible when
Yeah.
I was 5, and then you're like,
your
whoa.
latte art thing, that's
Yeah.
grinding.
Yeah, that's not
No, that's
improving.
not grinding.
That-
See, grinding would be like if he practiced, wasted like 5 cups of coffee
Right,
every
right.
day.
Okay, your bread.
Your bread, because that's grinding. 'cause
That's grinding.
Grinding
No,
is
I
like,
eat like 2 slices and I feed everyone else the bread though.
but
if you
still, like I
fail,
feel like right, you're
you
like,
have a
"Come on, I
bad
want to get
batch."
better at this.
Yeah, but it's not like a competitive thing though.
No, but it
Yeah.
makes it's
It
you're
is a
competitive
cra-
with yourself.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
it is a.
It is-
I like doing things where you're like you're learning and honing a craft.
Honing, yeah, because
Mm.
part of it is like, yeah, you're just like competing with yourself in a way.
Yeah.
It
you
is
know?
competing with the you from yesterday.
Yeah. So like me, I'm
Wow.
like the last podcast we were talking about, like you want to get really good at your respective, like being an expert in your field. What else do you want to get good at that you feel competitive about, that you don't want to lose?
Jeez.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe you have it all.
No, I definitely don't have it all, but I also feel like I'm not really into the I just want to try a lot of things for fun
Okay.
and not like I don't really have it in me to like dedicate myself to one thing outside of work.
Right.
So a lack of commitment.
Correct.
How does that lend to your dating
Life? I know you're going to say that. I'm not saying that it's good. And this is a topic for another day.
Let's take her to a speed dating event. Maybe that'll like create some juice, like competitive.
Thomas, you're
juices.
liking it way too much.
Because I think we could. That's like a.
Yeah.
We could do like a live stream of that.
Yeah.
With that said, we should wrap things up, guys.
So yeah, we talked about losing all kinds of things. If you're a gracious loser, not a gracious loser,
Yeah.
how does it affect you? Has it made you better, for
Yeah.
worse? Was there, for us, there wasn't a time where we went down a deep dark hole after
Yeah.
we lost out, but maybe our listeners have
yeah,
had that
exactly.
experience.
I think we've been
Yeah.
lucky in that regard.
Yeah.
That, you know, we've for some reason we've managed to deal with these situations.
Yep.
You know, we escaped from it kind of unscathed, I guess. But we wanted to learn about, hear your experiences and how
Yep.
they're different from us. Maybe we can learn a thing or two.
Let us know what kind of loser you are, what kind of winner you are, any advice, and how you've evolved over time. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yes.
All right,
Anyway,
guys.
thanks for listening, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.